Self-love is regarded in psychological discourse as a central element of mental well-being and the healthy development of personality. It encompasses the ability to approach oneself with appreciation, patience, and compassion, not only in moments of achievement, but also in times of failure, doubt, and everyday life. In modern psychology, self-love is increasingly understood as an integral component of psychological health. It is closely linked to self-acceptance, self-compassion, and stable self-esteem. Yet it goes further. While self-esteem is often tied to performance or external validation, self-love runs deeper, as an attitude toward oneself, independent of success or recognition. Studies show that people who maintain a positive and realistic relationship with themselves are more resilient in the face of stress, criticism, and life crises. This resilience is not based solely on cognitive coping strategies, but also on an inner sense of security that grows from self-acceptance. Those who sincerely accept themselves are able to recognize their faults without devaluing who they are. Self-love, therefore, does not mean self-glorification, but rather the willingness to embrace oneself as a whole human being, with light and shadow alike. In this sense, it is closely related to self-efficacy. People who love themselves are more likely to believe that they can influence their own lives. This is reflected in more active behavior, healthier decision-making, and a stronger sense of agency. Self-love is often confused with narcissism, but this equation is misleading. Narcissism, especially in its pathological form, is marked by excessive self-centeredness, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy. It often presents as self-aggrandizement, yet typically hides a fragile core masked by superiority. Healthy self-love, by contrast, allows for emotional closeness both to oneself and to others. It does not require the devaluation of others, but rather stems from an inner calm and the ability to care for oneself. In this sense, self-love is not selfish. It is a prerequisite for genuine connection, both inwardly and outwardly. When this inner attitude is lacking, the consequences can be severe. Individuals who struggle with self-love often display excessive self-criticism, chronic doubt, a sense of inner emptiness, or a persistent drive to seek approval through performance. These patterns increase the risk for psychological disorders, such as depression, anxiety, or chronic stress. The inner voice becomes a relentless critic, one that does not quiet even when praise comes from others. The path to self-worth, joy, and inner balance remains blocked. In therapeutic settings, it becomes evident that many people suffer from a deep lack of self-acceptance, often rooted in early experiences. Emotional neglect, rigid expectations, or insecure attachment can all hinder the development of healthy self-love. In psychological practice, fostering self-love is therefore a vital goal, whether through mindfulness-based approaches, cognitive restructuring of negative beliefs, or imaginative techniques. The path is often gradual and quiet, and it frequently begins with the simple yet powerful sentence, "I am allowed to take myself seriously." As individuals learn to treat themselves with compassion and respect, not only does their inner dialogue begin to shift, but so does their relationship with the world. Self-love is not a destination to be reached. It is a process that must be nurtured, practiced, and protected.